How's it going, garden people? Today we're away from the hidden gardens and we're visiting the demonstration gardens at the Barnstable County Fairgrounds for the fair for 2025. I will link last year's tour in the description box below, and I will pop in and out for a little bit of commentary, but for the most part we'll try to enjoy some music and some pretty plants and flowers.
Hi, Mom.
Hi. I think that the best part about coming to gardens in my area is being able to see all of some very similar plantings, such as this 9-bark and lots of other perennials that, say, I would have in my garden, and not only see them established, but to see what type of progress they're having in terms of weather. Here on the Cape, we're having a bit of a drought situation. My garden, the Hidden Gardens, is a Zone 7 garden, and it's really interesting to see the same type of plants that are on display here that I do have in my garden, like these hydrangeas, for example. It's really awesome to see these plants and go, oh good, you know, my hydrangeas are looking just about how these hydrangeas are looking. So I must be doing pretty well in my garden when these type of plants are looking very similar. So that's something really I find helpful, to be able to see local gardens and compare not only the type of plant species that they have, but also how those plants are doing. It's been a rather dry drought conditions here in late July on the Cape and throughout the summer, as well as a bit of a dry winter. So all the hydrangeas on the Cape are looking a little on the pastel side, but that doesn't make them any less pretty. They have like this nice watercolor effect when you get up close. So super pretty. I'm definitely enjoying being able to compare these hydrangeas and the ones that are in my garden and see that I'm right on the same page. So that's pretty exciting. They are doing expanding in their garden. Looks like they're putting in a nice blueberry patch over here, as well as adding more shade plants to the back there. They're gonna expand into the back area behind this little patch here. Something that I find interesting is being able to get ideas for my own garden by visiting other gardens. For example, right here they have a little walkway that leads to a little seating area, which works really well when you're in a type of fair area. For me, it would give me the idea to have more of a throughway so that you can, get through to the back there, maybe like a little bridge or something. But for the fair area, it of course, a seating area is nice for many people visiting their garden. But I like how I'm able to get some ideas and use of materials, for example, the brick walkway or stone walkways, that type of thing, how things look within gardens. So that's definitely a useful thing if you're a little stuck on ideas or, where to move next in your garden. Maybe try visiting one of your local gardens, and that might give you a little bit more inspiration. It looks like all new plantings of varieties of hostas and such in this little back area, which is fabulous. I really, really like how they have everything labeled so that you can kind of see, oh, I like that plant. And then you'll see I zoom in a few times just to try and get a name of a plant that I might want to put in my garden. That's the other thing that's really fabulous about visiting other gardens, is you really get a sense of a plant in a space, and if it's something that you might want to put in your garden, then they have it named out, then you know what varieties to look for. They have all these cute little signs all over the place of like different types of bugs and animals and toads and such that I can't remember if they had them last year, but I think that that's pretty cool that they're showing what type of things use these plants and gardens as their habitats, so that it gives you a sense of, the type of environments that are being built and host all these different type of species and living little creatures. I think that's pretty awesome. This chocolate snake root, I have one as well. I actually showed recently in a video. It's planted behind the big tree in the backyard. I definitely like this plant. It's a very, very pretty plant. So I'm happy to see this actually in a few spots around this garden. Definitely a pretty, pretty plant that I like having in my garden. So it's nice to see here as well. this tree is a wolf eyes dogwood, and it's just spectacular. And I recently found at the nursery, I found one. It's definitely a way smaller species, smaller plant. It's younger, but I cannot wait till it starts to fill in. I planted it in the front garden, and I'm so excited to have gotten this plant. I can't even begin to tell you. I do hope that it doesn't attract those spiders there, but I will keep that in mind. So thank you for the picture of that. But this tree is just absolutely fabulous. I just love this tree. It's so pretty. I did really try to make an effort to not spin around too fast for you guys, as well as I'm trying to at least not show, too many people in the backgrounds of the videos, at least. But I definitely do want to keep a lookout for this plant. It was one that I actually saw at the beginning of the year and didn't buy, but now that I see it here, I am definitely going to look out for it the next time I'm at the garden center and throughout the whole next year to get my hands on that plant and put it in my garden. I really like how they have most of the areas sectioned in terms of the perennial section, and this area is the cutting garden section, because it really gives you a sense of which plants are more suited for which things, such as the cutting garden, the zinnias and such, because they have the nice long stems that work in vases and so on. Yes, perennials you can use as cutting, but having an idea of which plants, if you're looking to start a cutting garden, which plants really are geared and do really well for that type of style, it's definitely helpful, and I really like how they have this all laid out. Whatever pond plant that these are pretty cool pond plants. They look really intricate and really kind of cool. I really enjoyed these. Here's a perfect example of how the colors just don't do justice on camera, because that daylily was like this banana cream type situation, and normally I don't gear towards yellow, but that was really, really pretty. And right here they have a new section. She was telling me this is a new section this year, and this is all ground covers, and I think that this is just fantastic. I really wish I had the sense to zoom in on those pictures over there so that I could really kind of get a good one shot for you guys for what ground covers are here. But I thought that this is fabulous that they did this. Really, really nice additions that they're making to this garden. I definitely like seeing the differences between this year compared to last year, as well as all the things that they're growing. Like I said, you know, it's so nice to compare to my garden and see where things are at in their garden, and then think back on my garden and go, oh, okay, I see, you know, what's similar, or how they're growing things compared to how the vision is that I'm looking for. Really, really fun. I love being able to check out these gardens and see how things are growing for my area. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It's free and it does help out my channel. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for sticking with me and hanging out. Please consider giving a thumbs up for the video. It does encourage the passion, and the more subscribers and likes and such that I get, the more that I'm willing to get out and record things for you guys and continue along on the gardening journey and sharing things for you all. I will include all of the links for these gardens and the master gardeners and such all below in the description as well, if you guys want to check that out. And I think that this is interesting how they have the netting out to protect against the moths. So look at that cabbage in there. It's really, really interesting, and definitely a way to show the examples of how you can do things in your own garden. I looked briefly for the tag for this plant, but I wasn't able to find it, this dark plant there, if anybody's got a name on it. But look at this heptacodium. It is huge, absolutely huge. So I do have one in my garden. I don't think it's going to get as big as this one, but I guess we'll see. If it does, I think I'll be okay with that. But that's the other thing too, is to be able to come and see these more established plants and kind of get a sense of, oh, okay, it's going to get that big type of thing. Because when we plant things, they're usually really small, and it's kind of like, oh, well, that's not going to get that big, or we just have no real sense of the type of, they say 6 to 8 feet, but to see it in person is just, it's a different type of, oh. They've used annuals here and there, like this pop of coleus that's here. I really, really enjoyed that. It makes me want to add a lot more coleus throughout my garden because it really does pop, and it really draws the eye into, the lower parts of the garden as well. So I definitely am taking notes as to how to incorporate different types of plantings, such as annuals, into my perennial garden, and how it can be used to show off the garden. Again, the use of hardscapes and such, it really gives you a sense of what creating different rooms in your garden feels like. I definitely enjoyed being able to see the different materials, such as the brick as before, and the gravel here, the stone walls, and what those different types of materials and colors on those materials look like within the garden atmosphere. It really does give you a sense of, oh, I like that, or oh, I might want to do that, and of real first-hand accounting, especially if you're trying to design your new garden or such like that. I would definitely recommend going and visiting one of your local gardens. So I definitely enjoy how the fairgrounds here, how they have this all set up. Did I mention how much I love this tree? I absolutely adore this tree. I cannot wait for the one I have to get bigger and fill in. Absolutely stunning. I was able to get to the fairgrounds twice, so this is my second walk around on the second day that I was able to get here. So the lighting is a little bit different, which actually makes the plants, it was more overcast on this day, so it really makes the plants kind of pop and come out. And I tried to cover areas that I really wasn't able to get up close to on the other day, but really getting more of the examples of the plants and getting more of an idea as to, what type of plants they're spacing, what they can commingle with. I like, for example, how they have this cutting garden. They're just all up in there. They're not in specific rows. they're just working all together. I love the color hues right there with the little sunflower and the celosia. Just absolutely pretty. And yeah, if anybody has an idea as to the name of this plant, I looked for the tag, but I couldn't really find it. I had the kids with me, so trying to make sure that I've got one eye on them and the other one on the camera and not tripping over people and such. I can only do so much, but I am interested in what this plant is. And if there's a possible place for it in my garden, I would definitely be interested in it, but I'm curious as to why they have it by itself. What is that plant? If anybody knows, please put it in the comments. I enjoyed how they also have those succulent type plants in the ground as ground covers. So really, really unique, different ways to use plants that I definitely wouldn't have thought of. So much fun. Another perfect example of keeping an eye on spacing of plants. I have a couple of Rosa Sharons in my garden, so seeing this one and how absolutely humongous it is, and thinking back to the ones that I have that I still need to find a spot for, I'm definitely gonna take that into consideration when I'm looking for the permanent places or the spots that I want to put the Rosa Sharons in my garden, because apparently they really do really well in my area. If you happen to come to the fair during the fair hours, they did do demonstrations each day on different topics and such that are helpful for gardeners, which I found really interesting. I didn't get to make it either day, but I did try. So it's definitely something to look for and keep in mind for should you be in the area to check that out as well. looks like the method they're using. They're tying up with twine their tomatoes in this garden. I do like the spiral stakes that I got. It's a similar type of method where you twine the plant around the stake and around the wire there. So it's definitely interesting to see how they're keeping their vegetables and how they're growing their vegetables and what they're growing. Definitely able to, keep notes and keep an eye out for things I might want to try for next year's harvest and garden. This hosta that they have here, it was huge. It was absolutely huge. It doesn't look so much on camera right now, but in person it was huge. And I really like how they have this whole bee setup. They have like honey for sale and such on the inside there. And I love how they're bringing the full awareness of the animals and species and bugs and all the environment situations and just the whole kit and caboodle that's involved in gardening, because it's not just a one size fits all situation. It's all things fit in a garden, and there's all sorts of different avenues and different garden paths that you can follow, and whatever you choose to look at for your garden and what type of things that may excite you and inspire you and want you to explore within your gardening journey. So I hope that this video inspires you to get out into your garden or another garden and continue along on your gardening journey, whatever that looks like for you. And thank you for coming along on mine.